So he ended up getting angry and posted these, you know, terrible nudes of me online.
I'm a dirty girl. I'm a dirty girl.
My name is Tawni. I am a mom, a senior IT account manager in the corporate world, an entrepreneur. I own the founding bikini barista shop in Nashville called Bouncy Brews, and I'm a partner with PM Waffles and your favorite MILFie next door.
You're the only Nashville native, right? What's it like growing up in the Bible Belt?
Well, when I was younger, of course, I didn't really tell a difference. It was a very laid back, kind of chill life. A lot of restrictions. It's very judgmental. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
What are you hoping to achieve by being on the show?
I want to rip off this layer and this stigma of what people think I am, what people expect me to be. I have many titles of who I am, and I just want to be myself and to share my story and to give encouragement and strength to those that may be in a similar situation, whether it's an entrepreneur or a mom or a girlfriend or a friend in the industry. There is a huge community welcoming you with open arms, and you can be free and respected and make a good living for yourself. You just have to believe in yourself and not let anyone stand in your way.
Oh man, so okay, last time when we got together for Starbucks, you kind of told me a little bit about yourself, but like, I don't understand how you came to be in like the OnlyFans scene.
Yeah, especially being raised Mormon.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what in the world? So I ended up getting into OnlyFans about 2 years ago. During, COVID, my commission at my full-time job was, of course, not good, because sales were just plummeting during that time for everybody. So I was, kind of considering a second job there for a while. Of course, bars weren't open or anything either, so that wasn't an option. And I had a roommate at the time, and I was moving into a new place, and I just, due to, certain things that were going on, I was like, this isn't going to be a good idea for us to move in together moving forward. And this person was a very close friend of mine, and they ended up getting kind of angry because they had some, substance abuse issues.
Okay.
So they ended up posting nudes of me online that were not at all like consensual. They were taken like when I was getting ready for work one morning and I was getting in the shower. Like, and I didn't know. I had no clue.
Oh my God.
And of course, first thing in the morning, I look like a dead troll.
I feel that
but I mean, then I'm also nude. And of course, I'd never had anything posted like that. I barely even sent them to boyfriends back then. I was pretty innocent.
Yeah.
The day that they were posted all over Instagram and Snapchat, I received probably 20 plus screenshots within the first hour. At that time, of course, I had no explicit content on the internet, and those were not even taken by me. So whenever those were actually leaked online, I had never had something like that actually happen to me. I wasn't really active on social media back then. I wasn't really open about my life like that. So for that to be like thrown on the internet like that just absolutely shattered my entire world.
And I was like, wow, and I deactivated my social media for a minute. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what happened, honestly, inside myself, but I was like, no, I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to post my nudes.
Yes.
And I'm going to post the good ones,
That's right.
and the real ones. And I'm gonna prove to these people, because there were of course other people, exes and stuff, that were getting on the bandwagon like, oh my god, this is, you know, so funny, and like really trying to hurt me mentally and emotionally, like through this, you know, situation. I was like, you know what, I've been looking for a second job anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know, fuck it. I'm gonna start my OnlyFans.
That's
so
amazing.
I did. I started it, and then it went crazy. I made like $12,000 in like 9 days.
That's
something crazy.
wild.
And I'd never made money like that before.
Did you promote it on like your actual socials and stuff?
I did.
So you had like
On my
people who
Facebook,
really knew you.
yes.
On your Facebook?
I did it on my Facebook,
Woo!
girl. I went middle finger to the friggin' world. And of course, like, I had all of my family,
yeah.
my school teachers when I was little. But it was just one of those things that, like, people, you know, start rumors and they say so much, you know, so much negativity, and then when that happened, I was just over it.
For sure.
I'd been bullied, you know, like with my exes, and them always trying to nitpick my lifestyle because it wasn't what they wanted, especially when I left the church. Anything that I did was completely wrong. I mean, even just because it wasn't what they wanted me to do, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, I'm finally just gonna break out of this, you know, shell that everyone's put me in, and I'm just gonna finally live for me. And I've never felt more free or more confident.
I'm like so happy.
Like I'm finally living for myself, and I don't know, I've never been happier.
Okay, so understand now how you got into OnlyFans, but like, how did that impact, because you were brought up Mormon?
Yeah, very strict Mormon at that. Like literally my family all the way back to Joseph Smith, the founder of the church, are like Mormon on my mom's side.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And there's actually like history books with my family in them with Joseph
Really?
Smith. It's actually really cool. The history of it's really interesting, and I love it. But so yeah, I mean, I was raised Mormon my entire life. Of course, my mom and my stepdad, we were actually really close before OnlyFans.
Okay.
So having that, and just like the difference in lifestyle, was a little bit rocky. My mom is actually kind of coming around a little bit now.
That's exciting.
And
That's good.
trying to just accept my lifestyle. Like, she actually sent me a message like a week or two ago, and said that she wanted me to know that she still loved me no matter, you know, what my choice was. But it definitely was, you know, the past 2 years been a little, you know, much, because they don't agree, of course, with anything that I'm doing.
They're still in the church and all that?
They're very, my mom is the organist.
Oh, wow.
Well, at least she was when I left. I don't know if she is now. But yeah, they're very active. They're leaders in the church.
Yeah.
But my brothers and my dad they don't really talk to me, so I don't really know. I'm sure they still love me, but
Yeah, it's hard for people to swallow, especially for a woman to kind of like step into her own sexuality. That's like a whole different thing.
You've mentioned experiencing a lot of judgment for your decision to start OnlyFans. Can you talk more on some of those experiences?
I have lost just about all of my friends and family that I had for years prior to this. Some of my absolute best friends, who I hope are watching this, left. And simply because I chose a career that maybe their religion didn't agree with, or their morals, as they've said. And of course, getting judged and completely, I mean, I've had hate mail, comments all over the internet. I mean, I've gone through a lot of shit because of my career choice. Actually, OnlyFans has brought so many opportunities. First, I started doing like model events in the Nashville area. So I did that, have probably about 5 different events under my belt now, very successful.
Nice.
I pride myself in having model events, not just for the typical, no offense to myself, but the blonde, big titty bimbos,
The very
you know,
Nashville-esque
but
look.
yeah, like I don't want only those people to feel comfortable at events and to get content and work together and collab with other photographers. I want everyone to feel welcome. So no matter what you look like, body size, male, female, transgender, everybody is welcome at my events, which I really wanted to, be very inclusive with everybody. So I love that. So I did that. that's more of just like something fun for me to do, and to be able to network. And then
That's where all those photos and stuff are coming from.
Yes.
From all, okay.
Yep.
I've been seeing your Instagram and all of your photos, and that's so cool. But then I see all these other model stacks. So I wasn't sure.
Exactly, yeah. I just bring all the models and photographers together, and then sponsors will pitch in here and there, and it's a really good, you know, I've literally met some of my favorite photographers and friends and
awesome.
all over the country, because they all come together. We've done events in Florida, in Nashville, Vegas, Phoenix. So it's really awesome. I get to kind of, you know, go everywhere, and then all these cool locations that
Yeah.
you normally wouldn't get just for yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, really cool. I love that. I love networking. So that's really exciting. And then I ended up the beginning of this year, one of my friends works in Vegas at a bikini barista shop.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, and I'm like, why does Nashville not have one?
That's a
like,
good
it's
question.
so crazy. So I started doing research and was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So we're actually looking to launch the first ever founding bikini barista shop in Nashville, November 1st.
November. Oh, that's so soon.
So I know it was supposed to open in August, but of course you know how small business stuff goes.
And COVID too, I'm sure.
Yeah, and all of that. I mean, it just like took forever, but I think we're finally, and like getting all the supplies in,
Yeah.
it's taken, you know, freaking so much time, but I'm really excited for that. That is coming in November.
That complements the waffle carts really
Yes.
well. I remember seeing those on Instagram too. I'm obsessed because one, how on brand.
I know, and it's so unexpected because literally Garrett and I have worked at my other full-time job in IT for 5 years, and I invited him to a model event in February with his waffles, because I was like, oh, we need your, you know, penis waffles at my model event. So we kind of reconnected because we haven't been in the office in a year and a half, so I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So I saw him and he brought the waffles, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this about? So now, of course, I'm partnering with him. Yes, having, of course, the stigma behind being a sex worker, and now running 2 businesses that are also around sex. Not technically, but dick waffles and titty coffee, I guess, are pretty sexualized, but definitely hard. Something as little as like napkins and paper products for our companies. We've had companies come to us and they won't work with us anymore because they know that we have dick waffles, or that our, you know, logo for the bouncy brews is, you know, or the meaning behind it, I guess, is bikini baristas, and, you know, a little bit more sexy coffee. So that's kind of difficult, especially in the South, and I feel like we've been turned down for events because of our products. So being in the South, it's definitely not as easy as I thought it would be, especially the coffee shop. We got the idea from the out West, you know, where it started in Washington. They're obviously a lot more welcoming to it there. So it's definitely taken a little bit longer to get opened due to different permits and restrictions. And then, like I said, the companies that we try to even order products from, some of them won't even work with us because of it.
What made you choose to be open about being a mother on the show? Do you have any fears or concerns surrounding that choice?
Absolutely, I'd be lying if I wasn't afraid of the backlash that I'm probably about to get. But I believe that somebody needs to stand up and have a voice for the mothers in the industry, because we're building a life for our children and a stable future that nobody else will understand except for, you know, us mothers. And it's the community surrounded, and just the small community that I've, you know, been introduced to and met, I am so grateful for, and they're some of the most genuine, real, raw people that I've ever met. And to be able to have that sense of friendship and community now, it literally is better than anything I've ever been a part of. And I've never felt more free as a mother, and I want my children and my children mainly to always stand up for what they believe in, who they truly are, no matter what's against them. And I think more mothers should be that kind of example to their children, because the mothers that are hiding, you know, who they are and just following the, you know, path of the world and what so-and-so wants them to be, or what their religion wants them to be, or who they think this little Molly mom should be, you shouldn't have to pretend that. You should be the realest person, because you do have the little eyes watching you. And I think that's the most exhilarating part for me, is to be a good example to my children.
Being a mother and adult content creator adds extra layers of challenges to what you do. Can you talk about more of those challenges and what it looked like to you?
Absolutely. Being a mother, I feel like I get judged a lot more harshly than someone without children, which I feel we should all be equal. Adult content creation or just sex work in general is common. So whether I'm a mother or not, honestly, I feel like mothers should be praised more for being vulnerable and risking everything to, you know, do whatever it takes to feed their children. I know that there's been several comments made like, oh, you can't make money without your body, or can you not, you know, you don't have an education, so this is what you do, and that's just not accurate. I have, you know, degrees, and I am very book smart and have other, you know, careers. I'm a senior IT account manager in the corporate world, and it's not about education. It's about building a future for my children, and I'm sexualized regardless. So why not have the men who sexualize me daily pay for a future for me and my children, pretty much? I mean, it's gonna happen regardless. It happened when I was a virgin, and it happened when I was you know, an adolescent. So now I'm an adult and I can take my power back and I can make fucking money on it.
I needed to include a mom on the show. Sex work, if you're looking at data or like speaking to a community, it is primarily comprised of people who identify female. And you can't include the genre or the gender of female without including motherhood for majority of the people in this space. I know that's not true to all, and I know I'm generalizing, but for this question, that's definitely the place I want to come from, because there's so many strong women and there's so many incredible fucking mothers leading the way for future generations, and that is so intertwined with sex work. That is so intersectional for our space. So to not feature a mother is a major disservice to the stories that we're telling. And there's other things that need to be featured too, and I'm not aware of that. I would like to feature the stories of creators of color. I'd like to feature stories of trans creators. I'd like to feature so much more than I currently have accessible to me, because they're all fucking important, and I'm aware of that. I'm also one person, like one person trying to do this whole thing with limited resources, limited help, and also limited people that I know living here local to me in Nashville. So I'm not naive that I can't, you know, just change the world with one YouTube series or with one show or with one take that I'm trying to build something and tell stories with. But I know there's still work to be done. So I don't want people tuning in to not recognize that. I recognize that. I hope people watching know that I recognize that. But I have access to a boss-ass mother, and it would be such a disservice not to feature her on the show.
You mentioned having to go to court 4 times due to your choice to become an adult content creator. What is one thing you would tell mothers in the industry if you could give them any advice from your experiences?
Don't fucking back down. It does not matter who's judging you, whether it's your ex or your ex's new wives or your friends or family, whoever's trying to tear you down and tell you that you are less than just because you chose a different career. Don't stop, because even the lawyer of my ex and the judge up on the stand was absolutely sickened by the torment and hell that I've had to go through 4 different occasions now to fight for my children, when that should not even be something that it should affect whatsoever. My children are very well taken care of.
I admire her a lot because of the courage she's shown at being so out about her sex work. So if I was to like open up my DMs when I first messaged her for wearing my Networthy shirt at that Starbucks when I first, discovered her and discovered she was local to me, the first thing I said was, I don't even wear that shirt out in public in Nashville because of the stigma that gets attached to the way every single person interacts with me. The shirt she was wearing was, your boyfriend buys my nudes. And for people who know Networthy, the clothing company, my clothing company's backstory, that started with a really bad altercation with me on Broadway, out with friends. Like, I was out with friends, a bunch of people clearly recognized me. You can tell because they start whispering amongst themselves, they start pointing, they start talking, and then they go to their phones and they pull up whatever they can find of you. And you're very aware that it's happening. You can't not be aware. You kind of, at this point, just walk into a room and assume everyone's seen you naked. And then when those girls from that table got up and approached me at the bar and weren't talking amongst themselves, but talking about me, they said, wouldn't it be so embarrassing knowing everyone in the room has seen you naked? And my reaction, because I've lived this for 10 years, you know, I didn't come into this with OnlyFans. I came into this in 2011 when everyone assumed I was doing hardcore porn because I turned on a webcam and streamed like a Twitch streamer. So my initial reaction was, it's not my fault, your boyfriend buys my nudes. And that was it. And then I paid for their drinks and then I left. Because for me, the power of what I do comes from the liberation you get when you're open about it. And even me till this day, living here, I struggle so much with that. So I can't not admire Tawni from overcoming her background and her upraising, and even just the trauma that she's gone through, and doing it while she's a mother. Like, there is not anything you can't admire about someone like that. I don't have that. I'm working towards that, and she makes me better at that.
Next week on Shameless in the South.
I created my OnlyFans like one night at a bar because I was posting thirst trap Thursdays.
I wanted power back over hating what I look like, because I know it's stupid and I know that it's silly because I should love every part of me, but I also know that I'm not the only woman that is going through this.
The only way I was able to get through grieving my dad's loss and like completely changing my life was to have as much physical gratitude as possible.
We don't have a relationship, and that is kind of what it is.
Are her boobs talking?
They might be.
Are we recording? I hope we are. Yay!
Speak up, sisters.
All right.